test. So welcome everyone to this stream. I'm KD, and I set up a couple of new things, so I have a completely new stream setup. I hope I will show you a little bit later, just in a little bit, in a really short time later. I will show you what I mean with a new stream setup. Now you just see the mostly you see on the right side the comments, and I set it so up so I don't see this picture here, but I can set up for myself pretty easy to see the comments from YouTube and from Twitch. So I'm always worried that I miss some comments, and I hope with that, yeah, I mean, there are not many that commenting because I don't have many subscribers or something like that, but even mostly because of that, because it's kind of rare that someone is commenting, I'm always worried that maybe I'm missing someone. Anyway, before we start with today's stream, and I'm talking about what I want to do today, so today will probably not be a too long stream, but every time I say that it goes maybe 3 hours or so. But I have some cool stuff I can show you. But first, let me show you the streaming schedule that will start from next week on. And yeah, before I go to that, I'm sorry that this week I didn't do a lot of streams. I just had a lot of private things to do. I mean, Christmas is coming, so I just had to do things before I could, and I just couldn't do at the time to do streams. That's why I wrote this schedule for next week on. I also want to tell you that there in the YouTube description you can find it. I made 2 videos that may interest you if you want to create your own game. The first one is about creating a game concept, just about the things you have to think about. The concept is not something that is fixed, but it gives you some milestones, some points you have to that is good to know from the beginning. Then the second video is about software, so I'm talking about different game engines and maybe which one is better suited for that. So after the stream, go take a look at them. I may put at some point the links into the chat, so the people from Twitch can also tune in. I have also not tune in, but have also the link to these videos. But now to the stream schedule. So for now I have 3 streams planned per week. I think that's reasonable beginning. With beginning I mean that I maybe will make more in the future, but for sure for this year I will keep this schedule. If something changes I will tell you. So most of the streams will start at 6 p.m. Central Time. This may vary a little bit, maybe it will start 7 p.m. It starts quite early in that sense, and the reason is so that I just can work on my project during the stream, talking about my project, what I'm doing, and just go on, yeah, for a long time. So making really long streams, so that's why I start early, and it's no problem to kind of tune in later on or something like that. So kind of what I said is that maybe I will plan more streams. Maybe I will come to that later on. Let's first talk about what is kind of planned for these streams. So I don't think it's interesting. Okay, one moment. I don't think it's interesting for you guys and for me to just make kind of tutorial-like streams. With that I mean making things by the book, showing you step by step how you do something. I don't think it's the best format for that. I will do edited videos that will cover tutorials. The simple reason is in a stream I get distracted very easy. I make mistakes, so I have to go back and see what did I do wrong. Maybe I don't like, maybe you hear English is not my first language, so sometimes I just don't remember the word I need to explain something, so I may explain things more complicated than it needed to be, and so on. So when I do kind of step-by-step tutorial on a stream, it may get really confusing, it may be longer than it needed to be, and so on. And the second reason is kind of if someone comes up to me and says, can you tell me how you do that, and so on. And then, yeah, I already showed this in a video. Please go to a stream that is 3-4 hours long and watch the whole thing, and maybe you find the tutorial. And so I can just, I made a tutorial, here's the link for the video. So that's much easier. And then there are a lot of advantages I have with making edited videos. I can edit them down very short. So something that maybe in a stream takes 1 to 2 hours, like the saving from one of my last streams, I can do in a 10 or 20 tutorial video, and I just don't need this long. Also I can, at the moment, my stream quality is not really good. This is not the internet connections problem, it's just my notebook with Streamlab open, with Unreal Engine open, and I've just with everything open, I just had to set down the bit rate so I can record it. Of course, I hope in the future I can upgrade, I can get a better PC and so on, and then these things will improve step by step. So I don't have such a big problem with recording there. I can put up the bitrate a little bit higher and the videos look better. Then I can write script or redo explanations, so I'm not saying the whole time like I'm doing now, and so on. So there will be more these tutorials or more informative videos. They will be edited videos, and I won't cover these things in streams. So for what are then the streams? For different things. First, for interactive people. So if you have questions or you tried something, I in one of my tutorials and it didn't work, or you want to know do it a little bit different, you can come up to me in a stream, ask these questions, and I can show it to you on a stream live. We can do it together and so on. Or you can put requests, give me requests and say, yeah, I want to see that, I would like to learn how this works and so on, and we can do that on a stream. So of course for requests I need to do preparations, so this may, if you ask me on a stream, please do that. I may not have the possibility to directly do it, maybe I will do it in another stream, or you can always send me a private message and ask me there, then I can just prepare something. Another advantage of the stream is I can show you the different results you get if you do something wrong. If you do something different, I can directly show you what is the effect of that, what is kind of nice. Yeah, and for that I just have a better flexibility with the stream, so kind of for these things it's nice. Then I will do a lot of experimental things that may not work or may work. That means things I never did like that before, or I didn't have a clear tutorial how to do it. I just have an idea how to do it. So I will do stuff like that, and then we will see if it works. If it works, I will do a tutorial later on about that. And then finally, if there is, let's say, if there is no request, if there are no questions or so on, and also if there is if I just don't have anything cool to show you right now, maybe sometimes I just come and say, yeah, here I played around with Unreal Engine, I found out something cool, so I want to show you that. Then I will do that on a stream maybe or so, just to show you some things. So if nothing like this, if there's no request, if there is nothing I want to specific show you, I just will work on my project on these streams, and you can tune in, you can ask questions, I will try to explain what I'm doing and so on. And yeah, so we can kind of interact with each other while I'm working, and that's why I said I will start the streams as early as possible, so 6 p.m. and then I will just go on 3, 4, maybe 5 hours, and then I get a lot of things done, what is also nice. So maybe for the schedule, stream schedule, this is, I mean, it can vary sometimes. Sometimes I have to say, yeah, sorry, today I don't have time for a stream, I will do it tomorrow, or I will not do it at all, and I will see you at the next time. But this should be exceptions, and this here is kind of the rule, so you kind of know when I stream and so on. I think that's not bad to have this. Then, like I said, that I'm thinking about doing different streams. One is something like on the weekend, maybe Sunday or something like that, on a completely different time. So if you're living in a different time zone, so maybe you can catch a stream and things like that. That's one idea. Another idea would be if there are other creators out there that kind of want to do more and stream exchanging stuff or so on. I'm also open for something like that. So before we go on, I also want to talk about the two tutorials parts, these edited videos. So there are a couple of things I want to say. So if I show you, I will mostly do tutorials about things I showed you in the streams. So I will maybe experiment with something on the stream, and if it works I will make a tutorial about that, so you can later on go look at the tutorial, how did I do it step by step, and kind of copy it and see how it works for you. But I don't want, and you can also ask me stuff, so kind of could you show me that and things like that, and then maybe it's easier to make a short tutorial and then give you the link to this tutorial or something like that. But that's mainly how I will go with the tutorials. If I do something or you ask me something that I personally also just know step by step on the book, and I watch someone else explaining it to me, and I have nothing to add, or I don't do anything different, then I'm not doing a tutorial, then I just will give you the link to this tutorial I used to make it, because it would be a waste of my time, it would be a waste of your time if I will create the same tutorial again, and it would also be not very respectful to the other person who put time into it and made this tutorial. So kind of, if there is a tutorial out there and that answers your question, I want to do a tutorial by myself, I will give you the link. And of course that's all about things I know. I wish I would know Unreal Engine, so every nuance of Unreal Engine I don't, but I'm also here to learn, and if I find out something new or something new, if you ask me something I don't know directly, I may have to kind of link you to someone else, maybe a forum or something like that. You can ask your question and maybe get an answer. Maybe if I'm interested in how that works, I will do my own research and I will come back to you if I know more and things like that. So just so you know, I'm also still learning Unreal Engine. Yeah, what else is there to say here? Maybe for upcoming tutorials, just so you know that, I plan to do 3 tutorials, so one I started to record, but yeah, anyway, I will do 3 tutorials, one about creating human proportions in Blender. That's what I did in the very early streams, and in the streams it was still experimental, so now I kind of know the nuances and so better, so I can show you that in a tutorial much better. Then I had this long live stream about saving, absolutely saving to different slots, or having different save files, let's say it like this, and it took me a while until it worked, but in the end it worked. So I will do a video about how to save and load your files, and explain to you how you do it with only one save file or with multiple save files. That's tutorial number 2, and tutorial number 3 is how to set up a play character with different skins and customizations, and I will show you the basic movements, basic animations, basic for customization on which you can build on. So that these are the 3 tutorials I have planned, and maybe from this stream here there will be another tutorial coming. I will see how the stream goes and so on, if there is worth something to explain something more in more detail. So if I say I'm doing a tutorial, don't expect it that it will be uploaded on the next day or something like that. To make this tutorial, it takes some time, and time is often a big problem for me. sometimes I just don't have the time to do these tutorials, and it may take a couple of days or maybe even a week or something like that, but it will come. And with that, we can go away from this here, and we can go finally to the interesting stuff. So this here is my new stream setup. I hope this window where I show you the stuff here, where you now see OBS right now, this will be, I hope this is big enough to see for you guys. That's where I work. Then up here I can change I have a title, I can change what's kinda useful. So a little bit advertising myself here, and then on the right you still see the chat box. So now I have my own chat box I can open up very fast, because I don't see the picture you see now, what's displayed. I don't see the chat, and so I can really fast just select, just press a button and I see the chat. So hopefully with that I won't miss any messages, and I tested it. It should work for both, for YouTube and for Twitch. Yes. And with that, what do I want to do today? Today I want to show you how morph targets work, or in Blender it's called shape keys. Doesn't really matter how they are called. Important is how you can use them, and they're quite useful. I will show you. We will go to Unreal Engine later on. I will show you how there you can set up morph targets and so on. And then I will set up on the testing map. I will show you how event boxes work. This will be a little bit connected to what I do right now, you will see, and then and then we will activate with that event box short scene we will build. That's kind of what's planned for today. So everything is, you will see, is kind of connected with each other, and everything is extremely basic. So you will hopefully after this stream understand what morph targets are, how you can use them, for what you can use them. You will hopefully understand what event box is and how you can use them. Like I said, I will just show you one way you can use them. There are different ways to use them, and how you can build a scene for your game, a cutscene or anything like that. So maybe I talked already about morph targets because they are, like I said, in Blender they are called shape keys. I talked already quite a bit about them, but still, just to recap, for what you can use them. Mostly in games use them for facial expressions. Morph targets allows you to change the shape of a character or item or anything like that, and then without having to use two different completely different meshes. So as an example, you can make a character smile, and then you can also make him sad with morph targets, and so on. So we will use these shape keys morph targets for something a little bit different. What I have planned is to make an animation with our guy here, with our test dummy we created in the first stream. and with our accessoire, the hat here, and so kind of this gentleman-like greetings, he will lift his hat and put it down again. So now, if you have an object like that, you could do that in a different way, but I think for something like that, the shape key is also or morph target is also very useful. So maybe as example for a different way is if you create a second hat and you rip the hat to the hands of the character, and then you will switch the hats in the cutscene. So you could make so the hat will follow the hand and not the head anymore. That's one way. It's a little bit tricky with the timing. Kind of have to overlay both hats for a moment and hope that the player doesn't see it or distract him with something while showing something else. So the thing with the morph targets is you don't need an extra hat for that. You can do it with the same hat, because you can not only change the shape of your item, you can also just change the position, and that's what we will do. The other thing I told you with creating a second hat, you can use that when he, as example, puts the hat down on a table or something like that, or gives the hat to someone else. Then you have the problem, you don't want the hat to be still connected to the armature because he walks away, and then the hat will just follow the character. So maybe there you have to create a second hat that is not connected to the skeleton, and that will change midway somewhere. But maybe we probably come to something like that for sure while I'm working on this on my project, and then I will explain it a little bit better there. So let's go and create our shape key. So what I do first is we are still in our, what do you select? I will select the skeleton or the armature. Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit, why are here two armature in it? It shouldn't be, but it's okay. And because we are still in the idle position, I will go in here, press Alt G and Alt R, so be in our standard position. I think actually what we should do first, that's even better, I'm sorry about that, is to create the animation. So we create here a new animation. I will call this greetings or something like that. Don't forget to press F so Blender will remember the animation. Let's select the skeleton. Greetings, and we go into pause mode. Let me see something. Yeah. So I want to start probably in the idle position, because most of the animations come out from the, yeah, he will stand still and then kind of greet. We won't make it complicated and while he's walking or something like that. Let's take the X-ray away, I don't think we need it. So I will take the this pawn here, and I just will move it up for now. Let's turn the hand. Around here, and then I need probably this one here to make a more natural pause with the elbow. Yeah, we see it's not perfectly rigged, and I think this one here is pretty twisted. Now I just need the X-ray. Let me think how you grab a hat. I mean, it's not too important right now with this character, it's just symbolic how you do it. I'm not doing it so it looks perfect. But in general, you will grab a hat like this, like having the fingers on the top and the thumb underneath. That's at least I would grab a hat and lift it. And I think that's already our first position. So I select everything. I say lock rod. I'm sorry, I should say these things. I'm pressing I, so you can insert keyframe and then lock the location, the rotation, and the scale. So you're just sure that you do everything. You can only lock the location, or only the rotation, or only the scaling, and so on. But with lock rod scale, you know, you do everything. So now I have to think how long will. I think 60 frames is a little bit short. Like I said last time when we did animations, it's better to do more frames and then speed the animation up. Yeah, I'm not interested in that right now. And then speed the animation up in the engine, so the animation is much smoother. It will work better in high with more frames and so on, because you have more frames. Yeah, you have more frames. You press down in a shorter time. I hope that's clear to what I mean here. So I think I will go around 90. Well, I did already something wrong, but it's okay. We come out from the. So I will save this pause in here in pause 001. Pause. This one should still be our idle. Yeah, I'm sorry. We come out from our idle. We actually could do 2 animations with. No, let's pack it in 1 animation. So normally I rather make more and shorter animations. I like this method more than doing these longer animations, but I mean, this here is still pretty simple, so we can do that in 1, I guess. So we start from our idle pose, and we will at 90 frames. Oh, didn't I? Sorry. First, I lock rod scale. I will go to 90 and lock it here also. So we will start in our idle pose and we will end in our idle pose, so we can go back in the idle loop. Then I would say on 20 we start with our pose here, the hand up. So now I have to check, does something twist? Here we have a little bit strange. Yeah. So kind of I might, that's how I'm doing it. I won't say this is the way to do it, that there is no other way, but what I in general do is I'm selecting the first frame I need, and then I will jump to the next frame I want to go. So right now I want to go to my hat, and then I will check here by going through here how does Blender create the different frames, how does Blender go from this one here to here, and then from here I still can change the frames individually how I kind of want it. Here he has kind of a little bit unnatural pose, so I will change this. I think my right mouse button is broken, or at least doesn't work as planned. I will select this here, and I think I go more forward. Let me see. So with animations, it's pretty good to kind of look. Just you can go before a mirror and look at you how you would do the movements and so on. That's extremely good reference. So kinda I was thinking about going forward here, but kind of feels like I'm not doing that. I'm working more with the elbow if I want to go up. So I will go only a little bit forward, and I will yeah, don't bend outside, that's strange. So I keep the elbow inside or more against the body. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, kinda like that. Yeah, let's see how that looks. I think I went too far. No, it's kinda okay. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect, but maybe so you understand how at least I do the animations. Maybe, come on, maybe the hand isn't or maybe like this. Let's see how that looks. That feels a little bit more natural than before, I have the feeling. So yeah, you yourself, you're a very good reference. At least if you have a human you want to animate. So think about how you would do the movement and then copy it. That's pretty good. We can ignore these ugly deformations right now, because rigging a body it takes a long time, and this is just to showing you how you can do something. So I will take this animation because we go back again, and I will save it in, let's do a new one. Let's go to 60. Let me think. 90 would be 70, and then we have 45, 50, 25, 45. Be the other. Okay. Yeah, we keep it symmetrical. That's maybe not the best way to do it. Maybe it would be better to go to 60, because it's not common to do every movement symmetrical, I think. Or maybe it is, but maybe not in the same tempo. Yeah, now let's go for 70. Let's take this pose. I look rot scale 80 on this pose. Look scale. So we go down again to the idle pose. And yeah, so now we have to define the 145, like how far he is actually lifting his hat. I take again this one here to move my hand, maybe up here. Let's twist the hand, not twist but just rotate it, so a little bit, yeah, way. So the hat is kinda vertical. So now let's see the elbow position. Yeah, this hand is too. I think. No, wait. No, it's okay. I kinda had the feeling that the elbow is put the elbow more into the back, but when I do it myself, I don't do it like that. So let's take a look how this movement looks like. I wish he wouldn't jump up here so fast. Yeah, we have to check that with the morph targets. Maybe we have to do 2 morph targets. I can. Maybe it's okay to show. Maybe I have to show you that. Well, we will first test it in one. The problem is if you create a linear movement, one morph target should be okay. But if we make a curvy movement, then we probably need 2 morph targets. The other problem is that the hat will rotate, so we may need even 3 morph targets, but that's okay. They are very simple morph targets, so it's not a problem. But I'm not happy with this. The hand rotation. Let's look at it again. Yeah, when we look at it, he first goes up and then he goes to the side, so probably we can't do it linear, but we will try it first with 1, and if it doesn't work we do more than 1 morph target. It's okay. It's not a big problem. Like I said, they're pretty simple movements. So I selected the hat. We go into edit mode. We don't go into edit mode now, I'm sorry. First we have to create the shape keys. So we just press here plus. We are here in this object data, it's called. It's 3 points connected with a line. And you also have the armature in here. You can select the bones. Here we have the shape keys. We have the ue4 maps that will be important later on when we make texture. Vertex colors, I'm not working with that a lot. But shape keys, we press on plus, we make the basis shape keys. That's important. If you change the basic shape keys, you change the complete. You change the form, the hat itself, the position, the form, or something like that, and not the shape key. So, but we have to create this one first. maybe I have to tell you one more thing that's extremely important, and you probably will forget it, but just so I said it, I will probably say this thing a couple of times. If you have modifier, you still have to apply. So this one is the armature. You don't have to apply the armature. That's important. But if you have something else, like a mirror, like a solidify, or anything like that, you can't do that while shape keys are while you made shape keys. This can be quite a problem if you have already made shape keys and you want to add a modifier later on. But anyway, shape keys are quite problematic if you do changes with your basic mesh. Can go completely wrong. Absolutely, if you delete stuff or add new stuff. Add new stuff is less a problem, then it just doesn't change the things you added, so you have to adapt your shape keys, and then it's most of the time okay. But if you delete things and so on, it can go quite wrong. And the reason is that for the shape keys, it always calculates in vertex or polygons, so in the points you see here. So if you change the amount of points, we get problems. And with most of the modifiers, we actually do that, and that's why it's not working. So before you make shape keys, be as sure as you can be that this is the form you want to use, or just be prepared to do the shape keys again after that. And sadly there is no workaround. I mean, if you have to make big changes, you probably have to redo the shape keys again. And I'm not sure if other softwares like Maya or so that you have to pay for are better in this regard. But you have to know it and kinda understand when you at what point you add the shape keys. That's just the important message I want to give you here. But if you kind of test around a little bit, then, or if you want to test out shape keys, I mean, just make a second a copy of the thing you want to do and test it out, and then when you later on want kind of make it complicated, a more complicated form or something like that, you go just back to the other save file you didn't add the shape keys yet, or something like that. So I made a second key. I will call that greeting. It's kind of important that you label this stuff. So I mean, now I have one shape key, so it's not that difficult. But let's say we do now face emotions and things like that. You will have a shape key for the mouth, and different shape keys maybe for the mouth. Maybe when you form different sounds or so or so, that these are different movements, or when you just smile or being sad, these are all different shape keys. And then you have to do the same thing with the eyes, and so on and so forth, so you get quite a lot shape keys. And here I would also recommend to you rather make more simpler shape keys than just one shape key and extremely complicated. That's just a recommendation I will give you. So don't be shy with the shape keys. Just make more. That's why I said we probably have to do more than one, but we will try out with one first, so you can kind of at least see the difference. So now if I click on bases, I go in edit mode. Here I can change the form of my hat. The base form of my hat. So if I want to create a shape key, I have to be sure that it is selected here, and I can't tell you how many times I want to change something on the base and I had a shape key selected and it went wrong, let's say it like this. So you have to check that. I forget it all the time. I hope you will remember it better than I really hope for paid softwares it's a little bit better made than here. It would be nice if it was just always the base selected if you start a new things or something like that. That would be nice. But sadly it isn't. You can also go into edit mode and change it here. So now we will take the complete hat. I press G and I will move it to the hand. I press R, click I probably, yeah, something like that. So G, and this is our position for our shape key, and that's all we have to do. Well, maybe so we go into out of the edit mode, we go into object mode, and it jumps back to the basic where the hat is at the beginning. That's because we now have here a value, and that's 0. 0 means the shape key is not activated, and when we go up here, 1 is the position we made. So now, unlike animations, and that's why I said we probably have to do more than one shape key, I can't really change what happens between 0 and 1. Or at least, to be completely honest with you right now, at least I don't know if you can't. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I will find that out. But as far as I know, you can't define what happens at 0.5 or anything like that. So, what will we do now? We go to our animation. We go to our where he grabs the hat first. Then when we put our mouse over value, we can press I, and now you see it's yellow. That means it's saved in the animation here. I will go to the end of that. Now you see it's green. When we go back here, it's yellow, so you know where at which point you set the value. You can with Alt I, you can delete the keyframe you made here. So I press again I. Now it's saved here. I go at this point at 70. I press I again. You see yellow, that's good. And on 45 I go to 1 and I press I again. And now I saved the values here in the animation. So if you go from the beginning, he will grab the hat, nothing happens, and now the hat moves, and he doesn't move like we want to, but he moves. At least more or less, no. So now, I mean, it's not that bad as it looks. Now you can do different things to make it look better. And that I can change the animations, so I can kind of move the hand at the right position here, or like I said, I can make more than one shape key so I can vary it better, or I can change in the frame the value. I probably can do that. Let's try that. Yeah, as example, but that also doesn't work. So there are different things you can do. Or you make, like as example, could now do 3 shape keys. One, the head goes vertical up. Second, the head moves on the x-axis to the right position, and the third would be the rotation of the head. And with that you can really timing it perfectly. Should I do it, adapt it a little bit better than it is right now? I have absolutely here a little bit problems. Or you can do a mix of everything, kind of adapt animations with the shape key and so on, so it looks nice. I mean, to make nice animations, no one said it is an easy task. And I'm kinda, do I want to really go too deep into it, or just show you the basics, what is possible? That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, if I should rather move on. I could at least, sorry about that, change a little bit the animations so it looks a little bit better. Let's go down here and rotate it a little bit, too far down. Let's go up. Press I. This location, it's on 30. I will replace this one here. So on 60 we would have the same. I think this is probably the easiest way to do it, is in the animation. It kind of depends on the object, on the shape key. Let's see again. So he grabs it. Yeah, later on we are too far into the head, maybe. But it's already a lot better, because he doesn't lose the head. But here we go a little bit too far inside for my taste. But it's okay. We can leave it like that. Looks a little bit strange. Yes, if I will do, if I had now my real character I want in my game, and I would do something like that, I would take a lot more time into perfecting such a simple animation, and these things takes time. You have to know for yourself how much effort, how much time you want to spend for something like an animation. It really depends on the game you make. If you want to just really have nice looking realistic animation, you just have to take more time to really look at every step, and if you have morph targets you have to adapt things and so on. and there are, like I said, there are different ways to do this. I could probably now the next hour spending, yeah, probably not an hour, but for sure like next 10 or 20 minutes. So this animation looks better. I think I won't do that right now. Let's move on. We made the animation, so plus the for the top hat our morph targets. I mean, it's just for testing. So I maybe already spent too much time into it. Okay, so now we made two changes. We changed the animation, we added a new animation, and we added to the top hat the morph target. So we have to export. First, I selected my skeleton. First, you have to export the skeleton with the animations. I click here on animations. Yes, exactly, that's where I save my Blender files. I'm going now to my game project, and I definitely have to do a separate game project with just tutorials. Just remembered that. Testing, sorry, animations. Now, do I have here? That's my test dummy animations FPX. So I export it. So I'm sorry if I don't explain these things right now in detail again, just because I did it already in previous streams. So if it is something too fast, you just have to say it. Otherwise, I will just kind of move on. I will try to explain as much as possible, but you know, I can't repeat myself 100 times, and everyone knows already what I'm doing because I explained it a lot, and I can't say if there is one person that doesn't know what I do. Sometimes, so just say something. So I select the hat, and if my mouse will cooperate, I also select the skeleton, because now I want to export my hat. FBX, do I have test dummy 1 top hat? Now I have to be careful. I selected my animation stamp. I want my mesh stamp, and I export the FBX. Now we can move to our to Unreal Engine, and we see we got two changes in the source content, but it's okay. We don't import it here. We go to testing. Now we test dummy 1 top hat. I open that. And we have to wait. Sorry about that. It's my slow notebook that is just a little bit, sometimes a little bit overwhelmed with all the things that is working right now. So when we open the top hat, you can here we import mesh. So for that it's important to, if you export your FBX again and you already imported it in ue4 Unreal Engine 4, you have to select the same file, don't make a new file. Otherwise it wouldn't recognize it if you re-import the mesh again, what I'm doing now. So it may take now a moment. It tells me it's successfully. So now what you see here is like it tells me that the material isn't made for morph targets. Now we have this little problem. It's a little bug with Unreal Engine. It's not a problem if you know. if you just know it, here on the right side, normally we would see the morph targets. Now we don't see it. I will save this, but that because it tells me that the material isn't made for morph targets, I know that it worked right now. So I will close it, I will open it again. And ta-da! Here it is, our morph target. Now we have to test it. Does it work? It probably won't. I can tell you that right now. First it takes a while to calculate, that's because of the material. And I really hope this won't kill my stream. We will see. Yeah, so it doesn't work. So you see now here it is calculating the shaders for the material. That's good, but oh man, my notebook doesn't like it, I can tell you that, and that's why I said I'm worried about my stream right now. So that's not a problem that it didn't do it right now. What we do now is we re-import it again. It's a little bit annoying, but now you see it works. Our morph target, our hat moves. Just so you know, if you made new shape keys or morph targets, or however you want to call it, open. So first, of course, export it to the same FBX file you already used it before. Then open it up, re-import the mesh, save it, close it down, open the file again, re-import the mesh again, and then it works. It's kind of complicated, but it will work. Now we see our materials went gray. So what you have to do is here, you have to change at least one morph target to a different number than 0. That's important, otherwise it won't work. Then we open up one of our material. So the good thing is Unreal Engine can do the material itself with the shape, and even being flexible with the shape keys. The only thing you have to do is open up the material. If you changed here the number, and then the only thing you do is saving it. And probably because of the shader, this may take a moment. I will use this time to change this here. Yeah, I see already the stream is... My notebook doesn't like what happens here. I'm thinking what I should do while we wait here. Maybe we will. I mean, we are running for an hour now. Let's take a short break, 5 minutes, while I'm doing that. And I mean, I will see your questions, so ask if you have something. Just ask. I will show you this one here for a moment. Yes, sorry about that. I will drink something and be back. So I'm back with the only problem that my cat took the chance to sit on my lap now, but it's okay, I can handle that somehow. Anyway, what you see now is that this red messages with the material and the morph targets, it disappeared. So you really have to wait until Unreal Engine calculated the... Somehow he jumped off. You have to really wait until Unreal Engine has calculated the shaders and so on for the material with morph targets. This takes a moment depending on your computer. I hope with your computer it goes faster than with mine. But now it's fine. Now we have our new top hat, or the old top hat, but with morph targets on it. The material is fine. If you put this material we made here on a different object with morph targets, they will work for the beginning. If you also copy these materials here or duplicate it, then the new material will also have the shaders already saved in it, just so you know these things. But if you create a new material or you import a new material, you have to do that every time. So now the animations, exactly. I should have done that before. I have to... Sorry, I have to put this one for a second. Where is it? Content testing. Here it is. Sorry about that. Now we are here. I pressed on import, and here is our test dummy animation. I'm sorry, these things are not very professional I'm doing here, with always giving you this image and so on. You have to select the skeleton. Here it says dummy 1 skeleton. Okay, first I have to talk about a couple of things. First, before we import it, well, let's talk about that first, and then while we import it I will talk about the other thing. I had a lot of problems. You may remember we added the morph targets directly into the animations. I had a lot of problems with importing the morph targets directly into the animations, so having the values directly in the animation, it often didn't work. And what I'm looking now, maybe no, not no, maybe they fixed it and it's better now. So let's see if the morph targets also get imported. So now we have the problem that it uploads all the animations. So where is our new one? Greetings here. Now you see it didn't, but that's okay. So I can show you how you can put it in here. And yeah, so about what I did before, I know it's not too professional. The problem is I tried a lot of different settings in OBS, how I can do it, how I can only show you the software I'm working in and not everything else. The problem is with showing you a display like you would do with gaming. That doesn't work because in a game you work only in one window and then it's fixated on this window. If you work in a soft program like that, we have different windows open, so I can't use that, and all the other functions I have, like showing a window, only a window, or something like that, all these things didn't work out, so I have to display you the what I show you on my screen, and sometimes I just have to block my screen to do something and then come back. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we want to add morph targets. Now we remember, yep, we have added our morph targets to our top hat. It's in Unreal Engine. And because the top hat is connected to the skeleton or the armature that our character also has, it will show you, if you go here to curves, add variable curve, it will show you all the available morph targets that are connected with the skeleton for your character here. I select greetings and we come to this one here. Can make it bigger. And now here we can select our value from 0 to 1. We can go higher, but that shouldn't go too well. And so on. So now here's the problem, because it isn't imported directly. I mean, if you can make it work, please tell me that you can import the morph targets with the animations, because that is actually really useful, so you don't have to do it over here again. But it's not a problem because you can do it here again. Yeah, please tell me. I tested it. Sometimes it worked, most of the times it just didn't work. So I kinda gave up on it. I was hoping maybe they fixed it, but it seems not. So first you have to pause our animation here. And we have to find the point where he grabs the hat. Should be around here. So here we select our first point, where it's 0. Then pretty much in the middle, 1.8. We should be at our highest point. And we select 1 for our variable, as value for our morph target. And then we have to find the second point, should be around here. And here we go back to 0. Yeah, and now when we play, we don't really see what's happening. So first, there's a red message again, let's save it. and that's a little bit the problem. What we can do is go to preview and select the top hat and look at that. What you can do here is looking at it together. And that's a little bit the problem with this, with doing the morph targets in the engine. And I mean, there should be a way how you can upload the morph targets with the animations, but I really tried a lot of things, and sometimes it worked, but most of the time it just didn't upload it, like here. So you have to check it directly when we play the scene. What I'm doing, so now I have to kind of set up this animation. Best thing is going into just saving blueprint and add a new value or ball. Yeah, so here are all our testing variables. I will add a new variable here. A boolean is fine. I just call it. No, I will call it test boolean, so I can reuse it for something else. And then we do that on the testing. Compile it, otherwise we can't use it. Save just to be sure. We go to our play character. Okay, where did I put the animation blueprint? Under animations, that does make sense somehow. And now we take our greeting animation. Where is it? Greetings. Bring this in here. Connect it here, connect it back. Then what we do here is, with the right mouse, we take the remaining time, set this one here to 0.01. Then here we do an AND. And first I have to go here. I have to get my ball here. Okay, all actors. Save and load. So again, you have to ask question if I'm going too fast here, otherwise I will just, because I showed this already, more or less how to get something from your save file. Save, get save to slot, and the test ball set, no, get, and from here we make a new variable. Yeah, it doesn't matter, normally we will give it a name, but for now it's okay. And we will press this one here and on. So What does that mean? If we now, and I will do that in a moment, if we make an event or something that changes this boolean from not activated to activated, then as soon as the idle loop is at its end, it will go to the greeting animation. And I actually can just copy. No, I can't copy this one. No, it's not necessary. Or is it? So here I do similar things. Time remaining. Then if it comes to an end, and this boolean is not activated, then we will go back into the idle loop. And here I have to go to the animation. This is not a loop, this is just, we just want it one time, greetings, and then go back to idle. Maybe I have to take here the let's see how it works, otherwise we have to change it maybe. So if that was, we added the animations, the greetings animation to the animation blueprint. We gave it a condition when it will happen, and now we have to create this condition, and for that we do a couple of things in here. First thing I will do, but it's not really necessary, but we kind of will put her she's smaller than I thought. Exactly, I made the floor wider, I remember now. So she will look in this direction, just to make some atmosphere. I mean, when we go closer to her, what I want to do is just when we go closer to her, he will do the greeting animation. And for that we need an event box, an extremely useful I may have to, let me think. Or now we are again with the problem here. So in general, it's a trigger volume. However, we have to give this trigger volume somehow a blueprint. Let me see. Yeah. Test map level blueprint. Okay, we are now in the test map. Oh, I didn't know we can do it like this. Let me think. Is that what we want? I am pretty sure we can make an pretty sure we can connect this here with a separate blueprint. But I mean, this may even be level blueprint simpler. So we can here select different conditions. So on begin cursor, no, what did I do? On actor end of overlap. Set actor end overlap. That's the problem right now. On actor hit, probably should be on actor hit. That's okay, interesting. This is kind of new for me, sorry. So I'm thinking right now. Add new blueprint trigger. Yeah, trigger box. Okay, that's how I did it. Greeting. Yeah, it depends on what you like more. Yeah, this is the trigger volume. You can go here to event active begin overlap. That's the thing I wanted. Do we have here event begin? No. That's what I was looking for. That's why I was so confused. So if you want to make you can make it directly in the level blueprint. The problem with that is you can do this event only in this level, otherwise you have to do it if you want to do the same event in another level, then you have to do it again. But you can do it here. If it's only connected to this level, you can do it directly in here if you want to. Called when this actor hits or is hit by something solid. It's probably this command here. But I will delete that. I want to make it this way. I will make so I know it. So what we do, we delete this trigger volume. Yeah, in memory, that's okay. So you can go here, select the trigger volume and push it in, or you can create where is my oh, sorry about that. Yeah, doesn't matter, I will make a new one. It deleted the wrong. No, it's not. Oh. Can I delete you? Let's compile, so we are sure. Let's save, so we are sure. Okay, you can drag in a trigger volume here, you can press the right mouse, you can add an event, and then you can choose active begin overlap. That's the one you're looking for. And then you can make the event for this level in the level blueprint. Or That's how I'm doing it. I don't say this is the better or the worse way. I will delete it like this. Edit, delete is add new blueprints trigger, a trigger box, select, giving it a name, and now you created your own trigger box. You can bring this one in, and don't worry about the size, we can change the size quite easily here. Okay. So now, and the good thing about this method I used right now is that you can use it in different levels at this different positions, because you can now go here in the blueprint and you can go to event graph and you can tell, that's what I'm making now, is kind of tell what the event is when we go in this trigger box, and we can do that, and this will be saved in the trigger box. So if we use this on an odd place in the level, or if we use it in a completely different map, we always have this blueprint and we just can take it out and use it however we want. So that's the one thing. The other way, you always have to do it a new event over and over again, even if it's the same. So just so you know the difference. We could have done now both for this one, because I don't think we will use this a second time. But that's fine. Let's now say what happens when we overlap with our play character. And the only thing that happens actually is we change the ball. At least for now, that's the only thing we have. I want to go a little bit further with that. Call it test. I have to get the save, sorry about that. The test ball, and we activate this one here. What you also have to do is stop. I'm just checking something. Because I know I got problems with that. PC character. So I hope that works. What I want is that the movement of the character stops. Maybe with that event it shouldn't be a problem, but I already tested with opening up an UI, something like a dialogue or something like that, and then the character just didn't stop moving even if you didn't press anything. So I had to stop the character movements, stop movement immediately to avoid that, and I hope this is the right command. I'm not sure anymore. Now let's test it. So what we didn't do now is getting back, but that's okay. Let's test it anyway. So I'm going closer here. And nothing happens. Why doesn't it? And that's why tutorials don't work so well on live streams. Why is this one here a problem? Blueprint runtime error, access known, trying to read property save to slot from function execute. ue4 graph test dummy from nodes in graph event graph test dummy on animation blueprint with description. Access known, trying to read property save to slot. What do you mean you can't read it? Maybe this will help. Let's see. No. But we don't get complain anymore. Save and load, it's in here. Oh, what's now the problem? Why can't you? Why is the animation the problem? I mean, let's test this. Oh, I know what's the problem. I know what's the problem. Oh. Yeah, now the error is back. Sorry about that. I think the problem is that we didn't create the safe blueprint. I'm not too sure if that's the problem, but So what I'm doing now is I'm going to the start menu and I start a new or create a new game. But then hopefully everything will load as it should. Start new game. We already have saved one. Then we can just load it. Let's see what happens now. Nothing. Oh, he does it. Oof, yeah, that was the problem. He doesn't set it at the right position. Anyway, yeah, I know what the problem is. You don't go back to idle, but we still get an error. It's the same error as before. I don't really understand. Let's start a new game. Yes. We don't have the hat on. Which one was the hat? Here. It takes a moment, but he does it. And we still get the error. I'm trying to read properly save to functions. Maybe I have to. Yeah. Let's do this different. Sorry about that. Let's go to the animation blueprint. And what we do now is, don't I have it open already? Greetings. What we do now is we make our own colon here. We create variable greetings. Yeah, I think the problem is we can't go from the safe. It also doesn't make sense for going from the safe, because animations are something dynamic and you have to be flexible, and if we go from the save file, we go not from a flexible value, but one we store, we save. We want to keep the change, so it doesn't make sense. Even doesn't make sense go from the save, and it gave me errors probably because of that. So instead of the save file, I will now go get the greetings. That's another advantage if we do it like this with a created volume. We can create as many variables in there as we want to, and we get the greetings born. I forgot to compile and save. And now I do two things. So one problem was it took me too long until he was greeting, and that's because of this, we wait for the loop is ending, so we take that out and see how it happens. Second thing I do here a delay. Give here a delay node I think about 3 seconds should be fine. And then we get the greetings back and set it back to not activated, so we can go back to the idle. Compile. Let's save. Let's do a save all. Oh, it's already everything saved. Perfect. Let's play it. Load. Luckily it doesn't take long. And let's try it out. And he immediately goes up and he goes back into idle. Almost. Timing is not too bad, so we have to go out again. Can we go in again? We'll do it again. We will go back. Great. No, and we get still an error. What's your problem? But why? Did you do it? Why do you give me a error? Why? I seriously don't know why we have an error here. Or is that still the old error? Did you get something new, something different? I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I don't like it. It shouldn't happen. But it works, that's the strange thing. $31, now we have 18. It can't be the name. I seriously don't know why you have problems here. Set greeting. I'm just trying a couple of things out here. I seriously don't know why he gives me here and what is the reason. I may have to. I mean, it seems to work, so why are you giving me this error? So I'm trying to read property call function. Array gets item. Why is that a problem? From node set Greetings event graph test. Yeah, it is this one. It goes back to this function, but I don't know why this should be a problem. I did similar things before without problems. I mean, he does everything I wanted him to do. Why are you complaining? Errors warning post. I have to check that in Google later on. This is not trying to read property call function from function execute to test EVP. I seriously have no idea. Anyway, I will move on because he does what I want him to do, and I have no idea why the error happens. If there is no error, if everything works, I don't know why there is an error. So what did I want to do now? I lost completely focus. So now, instead of just him greeting, I want to do a short cutscene with him greeting. For that, I go here to cinematics. I have to go to my test map here. How long are we in? Sorry. Yeah, 2 hours. So much for a short stream. But I will do that. Finish that. What I had wanted to. So cinema camera. I will add this to. A little bit higher. 90 degree minus 90 degree. Far correct there, maybe a little bit more to the left. That was a little bit too much. A little bit closer. I mean, I don't want to do too much. The only thing I want to do is to go with the camera a little bit back. That's all. So how do we create the cutscene? It's quite easy. We have here cinematics. I mean, at least to create the cutscene is quite easy, let's say it like that. And we add a level sequencer. We do it into testing. Test scene. We save this. And we come here to our sequencer options. I mean, you can do a lot here. I will just show you the absolute basics. And what we do, we press on track, go to actor, we take our cinema actor. And now we have here our cinema actor, and we have here transformation, location, maybe we need rotation. On 0 we add the position we have now. See that rotation and location, everything is red. 50 is a little bit much. And then yeah, 100. Yeah. We just go with the camera back. We go a little bit up and we rotate it down a little bit. Let me think which one is that. Or let's see how this looks. So we have now the end scene here. So you can see here in this small window what happens exactly. Yeah, x-axis a little bit down, so we look down a little bit. I mean, that's how easy you can create a short scene. Of course, you can go do it a lot more complicated, better scenes and so on. But this one here, let's keep it quite simple. That's not the right direction we want. Yeah, that's the right one. Should have tested it in here from the beginning. It's not that. Yeah, we already have. Nice. So that's all we want is kinda. No. I see. Did I? Yeah. Okay. So now we created our scene. Now we have to play the scene. What I want is when I go on this trigger volume, we will play the scene and see him greeting her, and then we will go back. Now I don't think we can do everything in here, but I will still try. We need our player controller. Get player controller. No, we can't do it here because we need the camera, and you can get the camera in here, of course. So we have to do it differently. No, we can't do it here. We have to do it. This one we have to do in the level. I was too hopeful. Let's say it like this. Yeah, let's open the level blueprint. Where's the event tick? Down here. And now we have to get all actor of a class. We take out greeting. Actually, let's do it like this. We could now make an overlap, but you know, a direct overlap event in here, but let's make it like this. This may be a little bit more complicated, but I know that it works before because I did it already. Then we get our, come on. Now we can create here a reference to the cinema camera we created. We can only do that in the level blueprint, that's why I can't do it directly in the actor. And what I want is the play controller again. The play controller. And from here I can get blend, set view target with blend. Now I can change which camera we see through, or the player sees through. And I will do same thing here. And here we select, or can we select him? No, we can't. So we get him here. If I press the right buttons, get all there's class. PC get copy, and that should be enough. Yes, exactly. Okay, what does happen here now? Now the level through the level blueprint and the event tick here, the engine will always check how is the status of greetings. If it's false, we still will look through the camera of our play character. If it's true, we will jump to our camera. Now what we have to do here is getting our level, no, how is it called, level create level sequencer. Okay, not get but create. Here our test scene, and play sequence player, and voila. This could be maybe already everything we have to do. Let me check. It almost worked. Do you see that? We didn't get the warning right now, because I started it from here directly, and we didn't go to the save blueprint. Maybe there was something in the memory that was the problem. Anyway, yeah, the problem now is I forgot to do something. You have to press the right mouse and here under properties, restore state, no, keep the state. And now it should work. Let's keep this open for now. Let me see. No. It almost works, but not as my camera not going. In here it's working. So we know now. Ah, right. I know the problem. I exactly had that. I had this before. Luckily, I had this before. There is a nice command that is called do only once or do once. The problem now is because this is an event tick and we do this event tick over and over again. We start we kind of start this level, our short cutscene, our camera movement over and over and over and over again. And that's the problem we had here. Or at least I hope that was it. And now we only do this part here only once. Do I have to explain that to you, or... I mean, when I was a beginner, I misunderstood the do once thing a little bit. Because I thought it's really only doing once in the complete game. That's not true. It does, as soon as you restart the level, the map, it will do it again. Just so you know it, this is only a temporary thing. It's not something that saves or anything like that. But now it completely makes sense for me that this command doesn't save, because it's not somewhere registered in our save file. But back then I didn't understand that, so I just want to say, just add this information, and let's check it. Let's see. And it works. And we have almost a perfect cutscene. I kind of want to go a little bit further, but I don't know if that's a good idea, because I actually wanted to do other things, and we're already running almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. I could do that next time. So now the problem is I've never done this before, so I kind of wonder, but I really want this actually for my game. And to explain to you, right now you go on the trigger volume and the cutscene will start automatic. That's nice and fine, but maybe you want it different so the player can activate the cutscene. And the idea is that you go on the trigger volume and then you have to press enter or E or some kind of button to activate the cutscene. And in this way I never did it before, so I'm not sure how we actually can do it. Sorry about that, I'm thinking. So we kind of have to, when we go on the trigger volume, we have to start the bowl, another bowl, and when we press enter, and this bowl is activated, then we start the event. Somehow. It would also be nice to, that's something else I wanted to test. Give me 1 second. Maybe the stream will go a little bit long. Yeah, give me a moment. Maybe I will do it next time. I will see. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'll just show you what I actually did. And you see here, I changed in the source content. I import it now from here because it's an image. And if that works, then I maybe will move on with this one here because I don't think it takes so long time. So now you see, I took it's just an image of the keyboard. I will add a new user interface widget blueprint interaction test. open this up, and I don't know. I know I tried this once and it didn't work so well. I will explain to you what later on. Canvas panel here. Well, now you don't have to slow down to your notebook. That's almost a cube. Yeah, we can try that. I add an image here. Zero everything. And we change the image to keyboard key E. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's maybe a little bit too. Let's give it a little bit more contrast here. Now we come to the point that probably won't work. Would be nice that if it works, because that's absolutely something I want to use in my project. I open up my play character. I go to viewport and I add. I think when I add it to the mesh, we definitely will have a problem. If I just add it to the capsule, it may be better. How is the name? Widget or widget interaction? What's a widget interaction? This is a component to allow interaction with the, okay, when I use widget interaction I can press buttons, but right now that's not what I want to do here. I'm also with the wrong guy here. Just realized. Testing, add new. Sorry about that. Actor. NPC. Add new. Skeleton mesh. It's okay, don't want to rename it. Skeleton test dummy 2. I think that should be already fine. Yeah, now we have to delete this guy here and we add our NPC instead. $90°, and why I'm doing that is because I'll try to add. I want to add this widget here to test it. Yeah, I have to. So not. I definitely have to test this one too. Interaction. I never used that, but right now what I want is if you go closer to the character, the symbol with the E key will pop up, and then if you press the E key you will start the scene we did before. Yes, widget, and now somewhere we for sure can select element. Should why can't I? Do I have to use the interaction? Why material? I want to select the widget. Or do I have to do this here? What happens when I take here? Set widget. It's the widget to use directly. This function will keep track of the widget. Since the next time it's called a feature new widget widget component. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is also a little bit new for me. Create widget today. Interaction test, right? Retin you add to play screen viewport. Set. Can't I set one? Let's see what I have here. Widget. Set widget. Does that work? Yeah, we can test it. But why can't I directly hurry up and do it? Sockets on. Because how do I know the location? Yeah, I mean I see it here, but that was a little bit too high. Or was it? Let me add the other widget. I just want to see, is there maybe widget interaction? No, it's the same. I don't understand why I can't set interaction source. Space, screen, real time, process. I don't understand why I can't directly set the widget so I can see how it looks like. That's extremely annoying right now. Anyway, let's put this into event begin. The problem is I wanted to put it into event tick, but I can't have two event ticks. Only one works, and this one is here in the level. I need the one in the level editor, so I have to go around this a little bit. I'm sorry that maybe not right now it's probably extremely confusing if you're watching. I'm really just testing things out. So you know what, let's just make NPC delete all this. Let's just make a custom event. What custom event? Greetings. No. Widget. Widget visibility. No, not our PC character. Here I get the NPC. Yeah, I just really see the shortcomings of this, so maybe I have to test other things out before I use it in my game. I thought it would be simpler to set up, to be honest. If you have like 10 characters you can interact with in one map, I mean, maybe you just have to show it one time as a tutorial. Hey, press E, then you can interact, and then you don't have to show it over and over again. But yeah. Anyway, NPC. I mean, let's test it out like this now. We will then see how it works, if it works, and we anyway learn new things. That's positive with just testing out these things. What did I call it? Widget visibility. So we will play this command from the beginning. Just to see, does it work? And how does it look like? I don't see anything. Or do I? No. That didn't work. Is there something else? Scene component. What does widget exactly tell me here? The widget component provides a surface in the 3D environment which to render widgets normally rendered to the screen. Widgets are first rendered to a render target, then that render target is displayed in the world. Kinda sounds like the thing I want. Maybe I have to stop here. Do this another time. Wait for the class. God damn it. I was looking for you. Oh, hello. That's a little bit big. Minus. So actually, yeah, but oh my god. That's the problem, huh? But then it's This is wrong, you understand that? Why are you wrong? I mean, the dimensions are completely wrong, that's so annoying. A little bit better. Let's try this. Yeah, still too big. But let's just check. Let's I'll come back to you later. Oh, this one here I will disconnect. Okay, at least that we are so far. You know what I want? I don't know if that's possible. You know, here it's not. I want it to always be rotated to the camera. Anyway, I have no idea how I can do that. Wait, let's see. Where was the which class exactly? User interface, interaction source load, mouse, center screen custom, channel debug. Here I can't select. Anyway, let's go back here. This is still way too big. I don't have to change that one. Oh. Much better. So let's see. Screen is rendered in the screen completely outside of the world, never which this rendered in the world as mesh. It can be occluded like any other mesh in the world. What does occluded mean? Let's. I don't see it anymore. Real time, game time, interaction test, draw size. Oh, okay. Probably could also change here the size. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Oh, so you can change the size if you want to. That's okay. Change model plane, cylindric. Oh. Let's go take a look at that. That's not maybe the I would rather that it just is kind of this pseudo 3D thing that just follows your camera. That would be nice. But cylindric may also work. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to look at. And you don't see it from every side, huh? No. So let's keep it plain. are cylindric angle 360 degrees. I can't go so high. Interaction occurs with the viewport for hardware inputs from the through mouse and keyboard. The switches will more or less react like regular to the images in the viewport. They can still focus from the viewport. They can and will still focus from the viewport. But when I press this one here on, then we can actually probably put buttons into it and then select it with the mouse. Yeah, I think maybe you have to put some kind of behavior into it, that it always is rotated to your character. That's probably what you have to do. Oh, look at that. Why won't you do that? That looks much better. Anyway, I think I will maybe, I mean, that's okay. That's kind of the direction I want to go. I mean, there are a couple of things I want to do like that, like if you're in combat, having the HP bar and things like that over your head, over the head of the character. And also commands are connected to your characters. That would be nice. I mean, I could do it with a widget that is on the screen, but so it would be probably easier for the player to select the right character and see exactly. Otherwise, I always have here on the screen. It's just to do. So for sure, the HP bars I can do like this. That should work. Things like that. If commands will work, or if I have to do it a little bit different, I don't know yet. I have to do more testing. I mean, I kind of want to go a little bit further, that you have to press E now to start this event. And also that you have to go closer until E comes up. Should I do that now? I don't know. Oh, guys. Oh, it works only once. What should I do? Should I? I have to test something, sorry. Where's our seed? I have it already open. Properties, keep state, restore state. Check something. Yeah, this works only once. Is that a problem I have to solve now? God damn it. Actually. How long? 3 hours. I think I kind of want to go further, test more, but I don't know if we get somewhere today. But also for the next stream I kind of wanted to do something else, but we can go deeper into that in the next stream, at the beginning of the next stream. Actually, I mean, I can kind of show you what I wanted to do for the next stream. It was actually only work in Blender. Yeah, that may take a moment until it's up. I mean, because it will be Monday, I could do a stream tomorrow. But now I have restore state. Shouldn't that be when the set restore state section will restore any animations back to its previous state? But it doesn't do it. Why not? Anyway. Still need some time. Let's see. I mean, in general I showed you what I wanted to do today. And I have other things to do, this problem. Or at least I wanted to do some other things. Do I have time tomorrow to do another stream? That would mean I would make 3 streams in a row. It's maybe a little bit too much at the moment. Or just do it another time, just do a little bit more research, and then maybe next week on Wednesday or Friday going back to this one here. Yes, so here are my kinda not so good drawings, but this is a concept for the first enemy you kinda have to fight in the game I creating. It's a sandworm. Here you see him from the top, and this is when he is in battle, he kinda moves around under the sand, and he when we are in battle he has his top out and he kinda looks so. I think the whole worm is around 7 to 8 meters long, so when he is here he is still kinda almost 2 meters high or even higher. And these are not spikes or stingers or anything like that. These are little leg things, and they will, with then he kind of pushes himself forward under the sand, and yeah, he has this big mouth, kind of 4 teeth that first can kill a prey. It's not an enemy, it's prey. And then also if they can move up and down, so he can just shove it into his mouth and not bite, but just shove it in and then will devour it. So that's kind of the idea of this guy here. Now why I'm showing you that, because I wanted on Monday starting to create this guy in Blender. I thought this would be interesting to watch maybe, and it will finally bring me in the progress of my game a little bit further. That's why I want to do that. Now kind of this thing comes in my way. I really want to start with this guy here. However, I also want to learn how I can use these widgets effectively for my game. So what should I do? I'm not sure yet. I probably will do the sandworm guy here, because I may have to look up a couple of things here, some tutorials, how other people do it, handle it. So I really would like, instead of automatic activating like a dialogue or something like that if you go near a person, I really want to pop up that the player just actively has to press the buttons to activate a dialogue or something like that. That will probably feel better to control. The question is how I do it. I mean, I have my mouse. The mouse will be visible while gaming, probably. Or it should be. So instead of kind of popping up press E, you also could make hey talk, hey do something else, inspect, open the chest or something like that, and then you can click on that. The question is, do I need that? Do I need a variation? If there is a guy I can talk to, I can just talk to. I will see. I think this is too early. I have to think about this. Maybe check some tutorials and then come back to that, and then I will do on Monday my little guy here. I will do some more, maybe some more work. So this here are kinda more hair, because otherwise his head would look pretty boring. I mean, it works somehow from upside down, but from the side it felt really empty. So I for sure have to do maybe a little bit more work on this guy here. Think about at least the head, or maybe I have to do that in the 3D so I see it better. Anyway, that's what I will do on Monday. I will work on this one, except there are kind of requests coming, hey please show me that, then I will maybe spend some time for that. Yes, that's more or less it. And the other thing, I will for sure come back to it. That was anyway not planned for today. With the widget, I will definitely come back to this part here and try out with interacting with buttons, pressing buttons, kinda talk. Great. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the possibilities I have with this one. There are many ideas that just pop up in my head right now, and I really have to think about that, and I have to make it work. Now I have to make it work because I want to do it like this. And for that we have to do more testings. Maybe not. Now I'm again back to, should I do that or that? I maybe will think tomorrow. Tomorrow I have some time to think about what I will do on Monday. And then set up the event tomorrow evening, night, before I go to sleep. Maybe I made up my mind. I mean, this thing is not running away. This thing is not really running away, but kinda right now, except for for some very basic stuff like saving and our play character and the default levels. I didn't do much for my project, and I would really like to start something for my project that has more substance to it, and that this would be really a nice beginning. Sorry, because it's not a too difficult character to create in Blender. It's not as difficult as a human. It has shapes that just a lot of similar shapes that just repeat themselves, except for the head, of course. So it is maybe possible to do this in one session. Yeah, I probably will start. I'm sorry about that. You probably all tuned out right now. I probably will do this guy here on Monday, and then come back to the other thing. Maybe I will watch some tutorials, or maybe I will just go without further knowledge and just try things out like I did right now. Anyway, I want to stop here now. Otherwise I probably have to think about these things for myself. I'm sorry that I have this bad habit to, if I get something in my mind, and then all these ideas come up, and I almost have to think about it, then I forget that I'm actually streaming here. But anyway, thank you for watching today. Like I said, the next stream is on Monday. Do I have to say anything else? No. Next stream is on Monday. I will work tomorrow on some of at least on the first tutorial. I don't know how many, or if I even can finish one. Until Monday, but I hope it would be nice if I could upload tomorrow a video. Anyway, thank you for watching again. Please subscribe to one of my channels, YouTube or Twitch. So on YouTube you definitely get more content than on Twitch. On Twitch we just also do the live streams here. Yeah, and